What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about why Norwegians pay their taxes with joy. Americans, we do not pay our taxes with joy. We hate our taxes. We do not like taxes. Taxes are used as a political negotiating device where politicians every year are saying, oh, we're going to lower taxes, we're going to raise taxes, and all I ever think about taxes are when I'm driving down some of the roads nearby and there's giant potholes in the road, and I think, why am I paying so many taxes and we can't even fill up the hole in the road? Or what's the last time something cool was built in this town or city with the taxes? Taxes are supposed to be cool. They're supposed to be gathered and used collectively for the greater good of the people. You know, that's a good concept. And I'm guessing that Norway kind of got this right, as Norway often does. I'm guessing that it got it much more right than the United States has with taxes, and actually using them in a way that makes the Norwegians happy, so that they pay their taxes with joy, right? That's the name of the video title. Anyway, I'm guessing it's something like that, but I am interested to hear more about this because taxes are a funny thing in America. We hate them. There's a lot of jokes about taxes. Taxes are just talked about all the time, getting rid of them, making them higher. No one knows what's going on, so let's see what's going on in Norway with taxes.
I pay my taxes with joy. A very typical Norwegian phrase is I pay my taxes with joy.
I don't.
What? That's a popular Norwegian phrase? Really? Is it? I mean, that's great. I can't relate. Popular American phrases with taxes are all jokes, all making fun of taxes or something, and saying, what's the point? So this is interesting.
I do. And why? And you are thinking, why? Why can you say something like that? The average taxation in Norway is around 30%. But of course, if you earn more than 1 million and so on, the tax level would rise.
Yeah. I feel like I try to, I do my best to not think about taxes. I just go online every year, I pay it, I don't think about the number, I just hit okay, pay, and I don't want to think about the money that I'm having to pay. That's my relationship with taxes in the US. But 30% sounds about correct, and the more you make, the more taxes you pay. That's true in America as well.
I pay my taxes with joy. And I'm sure if you're a foreigner, you will go like, what? Beep. But for us Norwegians, paying tax is like a duty that we do with pride.
You know what else part of it is? I just realized. We pay all these taxes, and we don't even get our health care paid for with taxes. That is just sick. That is wrong. I've always thought taxes should have to do with getting us health care. Instead, we have to pay taxes for stuff we never see, done with it. And then we have to pay for health insurance every month. We have to pay a health insurance bill, and it's crazy. It's madness.
The idea behind our society, behind our culture, behind our progress in the world is about really sharing. And it's about, okay, you earn more than me, you pay more taxes than me, I pay a little bit less, but we all pay our taxes. And
People stuff away their money on Cayman Islands to avoid taxes.
some do, of course.
Yeah. A lot of people in the United States talk about, oh, I'm gonna move here or there for taxes. And the funny thing in America is with all of the states have state taxes. There's the federal taxes that the government charges you every year, and then each state charges you more taxes and people move to different states because all the states have different amounts of taxes. It's crazy. So people are moving all over the place trying to pay less taxes and all sorts of stuff. Kind of like what he's talking about here.
Of course, in Norway, but I think in average Norwegians, I cannot say that I love each time I pay my tax, but I appreciate what it gives me as a citizen of Norway. We have like free health care, meaning that if I got, for instance, I thought I had corona, my test would be free, my treatment would be free, my hospital.
Exactly. It would make it so much easier for Americans to be happy to pay taxes if we got something very tangible in return. If we got something that we could identify and be like, oh, that's why I pay my taxes. Because they built that new community center. Because they pay for my health care. All sorts of stuff we could do. But none of that ever happens. So no one really knows why we pay taxes in the United States. To buy more military equipment for our army. That seems to be one of the biggest things the United States continues to spend money on, is paying for more military. Other than that, I'm not really sure what we get, that's a huge reason why Americans are a little disgruntled.
Hospitalization would be free.
You don't have any insurance.
No, and we talk about the US poor, you guys, because we are saying that you have to have an insurance. Education here, all levels of education are free, even to the university, so you don't have to have rich.
I don't know what to say, man. I don't know. It's absurd. It's I can only laugh at it, kinda. It's crazy. Norway is doing it completely right. I don't know if Norwegians know how good they have it. I think they do. Thankfully, a lot of Norwegians seem really appreciative and know how great it is because, don't get me wrong, America is a fantastic place to live. Very privileged, very good place compared to lots of other places in the world that are doing much worse. But if I'm gonna split hairs here, if I'm gonna nitpick the taxes and, it doesn't pay for our education, it doesn't even pay for our education. We still have to pay for that separately. So I don't know what we're paying for.
Rich parents or rich family to go there. And then you have social security. I mean, during the corona pandemic, a lot of us lost our jobs for a month, for a longer time. But it's not that heavy because due to our paying taxes, we can afford to pay back if you need it when you don't have a work.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, the United States at least has some welfare programs where we give money to people who need it. So that's good. But I've never had to be a part of those, so I don't know how good they are or how many people that is helping. So I don't know. But at least that's something.
When Norwegians are on vacation or are visiting a foreign country, what do we start bragging about?
We brag?
Yes, we do.
It's not Norwegian to brag.
You cannot brag about an individual thing, about me bragging about what I have achieved. But in Norway, it's totally fine to brag about our system.
I think he's being funny and also being a little truthful, honestly. Norwegians don't have to brag about themselves, but technically they can brag about Norway, the country. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with it. Go ahead. It's true. Norway is awesome.
And yes, we kind of brag about what our taxes are used to. We start bragging about our parental leave, how mummies can stay 1 year full paid with their kids, how daddies can stay with their kids for 3, sometimes 6 months. Come to Norway. You don't have to pay to go to university and to get higher education.
I mean, these are such good, clearly good things to use taxes for. And America doesn't do it. It's crazy.
And also for the culture and sport.
I hate sports.
But you love culture, maybe. And yes, beer in Norway is really, really expensive because there's a high taxation of the beer.
Yeah,
Oh.
you pay for this, and the rest is taxes.
Exactly. Yeah, but again, when I take a beer for instance, here in Oslo, I know that the money that the government or the state takes out of my beer goes to a kindergarten or an old granny at a home for elderly people, which, so it kind of, I drink my beer with joy, and
I mean, it's kind of funny, kind of true. This would actually make it so much more pleasant to pay taxes and be like, hey, I'm giving up a lot of my money, but it's for the good of the community. It's going to a lot of great projects. That would be so great to know that, to have that be true.
I drink and I pay my taxes with joy.
And for every sip, Granny gets a bit healthier.
Yeah, so cheers for our grannies. And what about you guys? How do you feel about taxation in your country? Do you get what you want out of the state, the tax system?
No.
Or is it really unjust?
Unjust, I don't know. They're obviously spending the money on something. I don't know. Maybe some of this is on the individuals, us. We could go to our town hall. We could go to our representatives. We could ask them for a list, a budget. What are we using our taxes for? We could put more effort in to asking those questions and trying to get things changed if we were upset enough. But I guess enough people are content. Or don't realize it's a problem, or don't think it's enough of a problem to do that in the United States, or feel like we're powerless to actually cause any real change. I think that's a big one. Feeling like we're not actually going to change anything about the system, because a lot of us don't have a huge trust in the system and what they're doing with all the money and all that. You know, it's not a great relationship. It's not a great system to have, but. I guess it's good enough because we've been stuck with it for a while.
And not fair. We love to read and learn from all your stories.
Subscribe, push the bell, and leave a comment.
Yes, what you do is subscribe, of course, and you push the bell and you put all of a lot of tax fun from Norway or
Hooray.
other fun things from Norway. Okay, this was...
The economical Ronald?
No, this was the tax celebration, the Norwegian tax celebration.
Let's finish this off with a little I love paying my taxes dance. Come on.
I pay my taxes with joy. I pay my taxes with joy. I pay my taxes with joy.
Okay. Is this going to go on for like 30 more seconds? Okay. It's the end of the video. You pay your taxes with joy. Okay, very good, very good. This was by Your Way to Norway. I got to give that a like. What do people say about this? What do the comments say about this? I'm from Mexico, and we have to pay taxes. Not as high as Norway, but the reason for Mexicans to hate taxes is because millions of pesos are going to corruption, and we don't have the infrastructure that many of us hope for or need. Yes, like there's an example of, that sounds worse off than even Americans have it, so that's very sad. Do you like how your taxes are used? I'm American. Oof. Yeah, exactly. I feel that exact same way. This is why I'm drawn to Norway. You pay high taxes, but you also reap the benefits. It's give and take. Yes, exactly. I mean, it's not a complicated concept. It's actually very straightforward. Just as time has gone on, people, I guess things get corrupt, people get in power, things get more obscure and convoluted, where people are using our taxes and we don't even know why anymore. But it's kind of on us to ask those questions, as I was saying. Um, what else we got here? Um, you've got a hit on your hands with that song. Yeah, seriously. I'm glad someone pays their taxes with joy. I think most of the politicians here in the US are crooks. Yeah, that is a very common sentiment in the United States, to give you an idea. Um, I think it's so amazing how you can feel safe and protected because people are paying taxes. You know your kids will get everything they need for a better life. Yeah, that's the purpose of the taxes, right? It's such a good. Oh, it's so obvious and so good. It's so good that it makes me sad. We're missing out on something so good. That's what makes me sad. Most of all, I think. You're the funniest Norwegian I've ever seen. Honestly, I do enjoy his videos a lot. He has a very good sense of humor that I totally get as an American. So it's an international sense of humor. Good to see that comedy and humor extends across the world. That's kind of cool, actually, to think about. Norway's social system makes so much sense to me. In the United States, so much of our taxes go to war on many fronts. Yes. I want my resources contributed to free education, free healthcare, nature stewardship, and social safety nets. Yes. Yes. See, most of the Americans here in these comments are pretty much echoing what I've been saying, I think. I think this is a pretty common American sentiment, pretty common complaint. Anyway, interesting. Taxes are an interesting subject, a little more serious of a subject, which is fine. And it's very cool to compare it between different countries, especially Norway, who seems to do an awful lot of things right, the right way. And compare it to America, where the United States thinks it does a lot of things the right way, and it does do a lot of things very well, and has accomplished a lot. But there's a lot of things the United States could do better and learn from the example that Norway sets as a country. That's for sure. If anything I've learned about a lot of the stuff I've seen, that is for sure. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway, Norwegian culture, things, stuff in Norway, and me reacting to it, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.